Hello everyone and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, and as always we have four great decks for you. In this video we will be reviewing the new Marvel Snap card, Strange Supreme. In addition, we are going to be going over some major Marvel Snap news, but first we're going to kick it off by talking about this deck from Reset Generation. Reset Generation is a relatively newer player, and he's been targeting a bunch of cards for the specific deck, with which he has ended up in the number 10 spot on the Infinite leaderboard, a really, really impressive rank. This is sort of a semi-budget deck. You kind of can't be free to play if you want to play this, right? If you are a season pass buyer, though, if you've been playing since at least November and you just buy the season pass, you're 80-90% of the way to this deck. You have Iron Patriot, Sam Wilson, Agamotto, and Galactic, November season pass card. So that's pretty cool. If you are a season pass buyer, you should have access to this deck or close enough to this deck because you can probably make it without Rocket and Groot or Red Guardian. Reset Generation is the creator of this list, going by the name of Robin. If you would like to check the Infinite leaderboard for current placement, because it bounces back and forth in that general vicinity. This deck needs Agamotto, Iron Patriot, and Sam Wilson. If you don't have Galactic, you can run Gwenpool. Red Guardian can be Rogue or Mobius. Rocket and Groot's best replacements are high series cards like Copycat or Cassandra Nova, but Negasonic Teenage Warhead is fine here too. Before we go to the turn by turn, or before we go to the card by card and then the turn by turn for this list, there's some Marvel Snap news I want to get to because if I leave it for later this video, I'm going to forget. First of all, Infinity Ultron is getting buffed in this week's OTA. He is becoming a 5'8 from a 5'6. This is going to make him way better. Is this going to make him great? I'm unsure. I do think this is going to make him significantly better. That Hella list we featured in Sunday's video is, I think, a meta list now, and I think it gets way, way better when we get a better Infinity Ultron. I urge you to at least consider the card. However, you do not, capital N-O-T, have to buy it the same way you did when Spotlights were out. Assuming you have unless you are getting 2 new cards or more, you can just buy this with keys in a couple weeks just fine and wait to see how it is. So don't feel like you're in any rush. Next Tuesday will be when Snap Packs releases, just for the record. So it is next Tuesday, the Snap Pack release date. And important to note for that Snap Pack release date is the fact that they are giving us some kind of special reward. People will have something special in their inbox at that update. So keep that in mind for next week. And then finally, there's an update to the dates of OTAs. There will be an OTA this Thursday. Then there's no OTA all of May until like the very last day or second to last day of May. They're going on some kind of retreat or something, and all of a sudden, there's just not going to be OTA. So that's wild. I hope that this OTA is really big. I expect it to be really big because I don't think they want to leave us with a stale meta for a month. So get excited for what is hopefully a really big OTA this Thursday, and then hopefully next season's cards are really strong so they can keep things shaken up after that. All right, card by card for this list. So Nightcrawler, I think, is this really, really cool piece here. Nightcrawler is very good if you can hit it with that Galacta. Obviously, that's one easy, very powerful use here. It's also a really good card with Images of Icon when you want to turn a bunch of cards into the Images of Icon card, whether that be a Galacta or an Agamotto. Nightcrawler can go to that lane in order to be really effective in that manner. Plus, it's just solid power. Having an extra 1-drop that is solid power is very good for Adam Warlock in particular in this list. I don't know if Reset has King Eitri, but you can consider King Eitri for this spot if that's a card you own as an extra draw card to get one of your Agamotto spells. Zabu is here. Again, anytime you have 3 or more 4-cost cards, you want to strongly consider running Zabu. Zabu is then always going to be a card that you can run. Zabu here is largely for, if you can get Galacta on 3, that's a snap. That is a condition with which you can snap. But also at the end of the game, you would very much, generally speaking with this list, like to close with a Juggernaut. If you can close with a Juggernaut and a Shang or Enchantress, you are going to be way ahead. It's a very powerful play and one worth looking into. Adam Warlock is extra draws. Draws are important. Agamotto makes your deck thicker. Finding draw is important. That's why Eitri is in so many of these decks. Again, Reset Generation running Adam Warlock in that spot. Warlock's also really solid with Iron Patriot and Sam Wilson. You play Iron Patriot one lane, you don't have a really good follow-up or you don't get a good card, your opponent's fairly likely to try and win that Iron Patriot lane. You can Adam Warlock another lane, whether that be a Nightcrawler lane, Sam Shield lane, whatever, and you can end up stealing an extra draw in that manner. Plus, if you go Sam Wilson in a lane, right? You play Adam Warlock as you move that shield there the next turn, then you should end up with a reasonable shot. You've now got a 6 power lane, which is again reasonably good at that getting that Adam Warlock draw. You only need one or two of those to go forward. Sam's great power. Sam's shield is an amazing images of icon target. You also really want priority with this list. Priority really helps with Iron Patriot and Juggernaut. It also really helps with Rocket and Groot, and Sam Wilson is great at getting that. Rocket and Groot is your ideal either Iron Patriot or Adam Warlock follow up. If they're going to try and stop that Adam Warlock lane, let them suffer the Rocket and Groot tax for that. Rocket Groot's also great because um, it on top of an Iron Patriot means that you're basically playing a 4 power card on top of that Iron Patriot, which you could also play on top of that shield, meaning your opponent is going to have to get over 8 power in order to stop that Iron Patriot. Very, very good. And obviously, movability is a powerful thing. Juggernaut is amazing in order to set up that Iron Patriot, but its real use here is to win at the end of the game. Generally speaking, you want Juggernaut to be your turn 6 play, along with one of your other control cards if you can get Zabu out. The other thing Juggernaut does that's really cool here is around turn 5, if you think your opponent, you know your opponent where your opponent's going to play, if you can Juggernaut there, you can often clog them and lock them out of the potential to even win. Red Guardian is one of your 3 control cards here. Red Guardian says, oh no, that's not an ongoing herb, and it doesn't get too big. Red Guardian handles it. Power must be controlled, and ongoings must be controlled. That's Red Guardian, Stronger Enchantress. Your only real power scaler is Galacta, and thus she is in many ways the most important card of the deck. Unless your opponent puts basically everything into tech range, Galacta is going to be your general win condition, the way you make cards big enough to win. Unlike most of these decks, you do actually end up playing Agamotto here. Agamotto being big is important. Turning Agamotto's bigness into images of icon is really useful and occasionally dominates a lane. Outside of that, the Balthak spell gives you enough energy to do a lot of powerful things. Icon for for Galacta or Agamotto, sometimes for Rocket Group, but usually for Galacta or Agamotto is incredible. The other spell is, again, you're using Be a Little Careful where possible with the Winds of Watum, you can use it to get a draw from Adam Warlock, right? Or you can use it to win an Iron Patriot lane. However, be a little bit careful because you also want to keep in mind that it is very useful mid to late game for that little mini clog thing that you can do. If you're playing Adam Warlock and Rocket and Groot, opponents will often sort of end up a little bit stuck trying to play into your locations. You can Juggernaut like you can move Rocket Groot and then they're going to avoid that, and then you can Juggernaut and clog that lane that they were trying to avoid previously. That lane is now a great Red Guardian target. You can use Winds to throw an extra card in there to further cause problems. All that stuff is really strong, very useful. Turn 1, you want Zabu over Nightcrawler. Turn 2, you play Sam over Iron Patriot over Warlock. And for anyone who's new here, green means potential snap condition, white means usual snap condition for the list. So you go Sam over Iron Patriot. Iron Patriot is green. You can snap fairly often when you win with a good card. It's no longer as often just a clear win when you get the win, right? When you win the Iron Patriot lane, it's more of a clear snap when that card is very good. And those are better than Adam Warlock, who you generally want to play on turn 3. Turn 3, Galacta is your key and ideal card. That's a snap over Rock and Groot, over a 2. And this is usually Adam Warlock, although if you played Sam, it could be Iron Patriot as well, which is better. You can also play Juggernaut if you played Iron Patriot or Warlock and really want to get that draw. Balthak is really good here. If you played just like Sam, getting Balthak to go really big on a bunch of other plays next turn makes sense. Turn 4, generally speaking, Galacta, 2/2. This is a potential icon or Balthak turn as well. Turn 5, you want Icon over Tech cards over Agamotto. That is a nice simple rule. If you are getting Icon and Galacta in particular, that's a snap. If you played Agamotto early because of Balthak and now you're getting a 30 power lane, that can also be a snap, but that's less likely. You better be damn sure your opponent doesn't have Shang. You can also, at this point, start to play tech cards if they've got a really obvious Shang target, really obvious Enchantress or Juggernaut spot. Feel free to do that. Turn 6, tech cards are generally the order of the day. If you'll know when to play other things, right? You'll know if you need to do some power stuff, if you need to draft an Agamotto. Generally speaking, though, tech cards win the game of Marvel Snap. Enjoy. I really enjoy this list. This is very cool. The Season Passler, which is what this type of list when founded by Derek was called, the Season Passler remains a really good list. People have sort of forgotten about it. People have sort of stopped running it, but you can still win an awful lot of games of Marvel Snap using this list. Before we get to the next deck and our review of the new card, please hit that sub, like, and comment if you're willing to. We bring you a Marvel Snap video every single day. We brought you 2 videos on Sunday, 1 video yesterday. We very often have 8 or 9 videos. We are the most thorough and comprehensive Marvel Snap site on the internet. If you want the best Marvel Snap news, please hit that sub button and like and a comment. Help show the YouTube algorithm who's boss and make it show it to more make them show us to more people. In addition, we're giving away a Captain Carter this week. We gave away one last week. Please check the posts from this channel. I made a post with the winner of last week's Captain Carter. We will ask a question later this video. The person who answers that question is then entered to win Captain Carter. Cool, nice and simple. We'll announce it at the end of this week or start of next. Strain Supreme is the new card of this week. It is a 2/2. Gains +2 power from merging. End of turn, merge one of your created cards into this. Unfortunately, it's not the last card you created. It's just a created card. Basically, here's how this has been explained. Anything that is not one of the 12 cards that start in your deck or 12 cards that start in your opponent's deck can be merged with Strange Supreme. This is going to be an amazing junk counter. Whenever a junk meta shows up, this is just the kind of card that we can chuck into a deck and have a really good time with. Getting that +2 power on top of the power that of the merge thing does seem very strong. How strong? I'm not sure. I think that this has two very obvious homes. Well, maybe three. Arishem is arguable. I'm not sure if I actually want this in Arishem. But like this is fairly likely to have a home in Arishem. It almost certainly has a home in a version of Thanos, but I couldn't get my head quite around that. Instead, I think it's going to be great in this deck we're going to look at, which is the Cook style deck. There's that old Barzy, back when Barzy played Snap. He created a deck he called the Cook that was basically a Sasquatch Mockingbird list that ran Mysterio. That kind of list has become known as the Cook. I built a version of that to go with Strain Supreme. We're going to see how it is. It would be my guess for this or Thanos being the very best of that card. Strange Supreme does come with two ongoing cards that are nice to own but not important. US Agent is a solid card, but even its best home, the Havoc Athena deck, often cuts it now for cards like Sam Wilson, so don't feel like you have to have US Agent, although it is a nice Series 5 card to own. While Speed is a little better, Speed is in the current meta Thanos list, but it gets to 9 power, which is also just about what the regular Captain America gets to in the same list. So these are good cards, but they're not great cards that come with Strange Supreme. If you need either of them and Strange Supreme ends up good, please feel free to open. I'd also like it noted, generally speaking, we don't review a card once on this channel. I don't know. I don't think Strange Supreme is going to be great. I don't think Strange Supreme is going to be a must-have card, but we are often wrong. Not just me, everyone. There's every content creator, every person is sometimes wrong in their assessment of cards. That's just how this works. Nobody's perfect until they get the cards in their hand and have a bunch of time. And like there's hundreds of, if not thousands of people playing with and messing with and brewing with the card, and we will figure out if it's good, but it does take some time. Now, if you need two cards, if you need at least Speed or US Agent and Strange Supreme, if Strange Supreme is good, you can open for it. If you need all three, you can probably just open today. You're fine. That's a better use than when it changes to the new system. If you get all three cards for your 4 keys, then that's a great use. But if you're worried about how good Strange Supreme is in the process of this, please wait on on tomorrow's video. Tonight on stream, I test the card. Tomorrow's video, I will give you my first impressions. Thursday's video, I will give you, I don't know, a bunch of like top 100 players, usually between 15 and 20, top 100 players' opinions on the card. Friday, I will look at the stats and give you a weekend mission review. Here's what I think you should do with this card based on weekend missions. Then either Sunday or Monday, I'll do a last chance review, which is after weekend missions have forced people to play him, and we've actually got a real understanding of it. How good is this card? So if you want the best information about this card, just keep coming back and we will make sure we get that to you. Uh, one more thing to note. Oh, sorry. If next week Aranya and Madam Web are in spotlight caches, if you choose not to update the patch um until after the daily reset, you can open for Aranya Madam Web. Aranya and Madam Web are more desirable cards, at least to me, than Speed and US Agent, so I would strongly consider, if your keys are limited, saving for that instead of opening this week. All right, so I built this list, I messed with it. I really, really, really wanted Fastos to be right here, but Kitty and Hope are just too good. This is the list I'm going to go with on day one. So fundamentally, I'm trying to do one of a few things. If I hit Brood or Sinister with Gwenpool or Galacta, that means every hit is +4, or Galacta is plus an extra +3 or an extra plus 6 on Brood, or Sinister respectively. So that kind of thing is very powerful, and that's what I'm trying to do here. Plus, if I do that and merge with it, Strange Supreme is going to keep those stats. Plus, if I don't do that, then all of a sudden I'm making Mockingbird cheaper, and I have that extra bit of power. So all of this should synergize really well. This, I think, is going to be the best day one deck. It's also going to be what I start on stream. I should be live at about 8 p.m. Eastern once I can get my kid to bed. So you can find me later on at twitch.tv/pulseglazer, but I'll also be live right here on YouTube. Weekday streams tend to be on YouTube and Twitch. Weekend streams are Twitch only. Remember though, Twitch drops are live. They were bugged yesterday, so if you got them yesterday, they didn't work. They will work right now. So come check me out tonight and get your Twitch drops. This deck needs Sasquatch, Mockingbird, Gwenpool, Galactic, Kate, and Strange Supreme, which is probably a mitigating factor for a lot of people getting Strange Supreme. Unless you have a lot of season passes, and again, I know this is annoying, Gwenpool, Galactic, Kate are former season pass cards. Sasquatch, Mockingbird, and Strange Supreme. However, this is just expensive, right? That's a lot of high series cards. Hope, another former series pass card. Oops. Could be Fastos or Luna. Those are sort of it. I'm very curious if Fastos can be good in this. The real power of Hope, though, is Hope can be played on turn 4, whereas Fastos is really like good on turn 3 or garbage. And Sam Wilson's good here. Fairly often, Strange is just going to eat the damn shield, but Sam Wilson is good here. It could be Hydra Bob, Jeff, or Nightcrawler. All right. So Kitty Pride is here for several reasons. One, it's an extra energy that's easy to hit on Hope, which is really nice. You get that extra energy every turn. On the last turn of the game, you can play Kitty or not. The other thing it does is it's a really, really great Galacta target. You hit that with Galacta, and all of a sudden you have this really big one drop that's actually a force to be reckoned with. Mr. Sinister synergizes with. Okay, let's actually not talk about Sinister. Let's talk about Strange Supreme, Galacta, and Gwenpool. So basically, you're using these as your buffs. Strange Supreme, every time he buffs, he's going to go tall in one lane. Galacta's going to help things go tall. Gwenpool's going to help things go tall. If Galacta hits Sinister, it's a 5/10. If Strange Supreme eats the clone, you've kept the 5 from the Sinister, but now you have 7 from Strange Supreme, right? You've got that 5 you're eating, so the Strange Supreme is already a 2/9. That seems really good. Same thing, general thing with Gwenpool. Gwenpool is 1 less power, but it can hit more than once because it hit the same card more than once, which works really well here. The same thing is true of Sinister, except Sinister obviously has an extra clone, which is again very nice. Can be eaten, can be buffed with Galacta or Gwenpool. Brood alone for 15 power, Galacta is really good. Hawkeye doesn't do nearly as much for these cards, right? Sorry. Those are generally the things you're trying to do with Sinister, Brood, Galacta, and Gwenpool, along with Strange Supreme. The last card is Mysterio. Mysterio with Gwenpool is with one hit is 1 power less than a Doctor Doom, which is one of your main plays in this list. There's no special Galacta Mysterio synergy, but it's fine. The downside for running Strange Supreme with Mysterio is that it can eat the real Mysterio. It won't know that it's the real Mysterio, which kind of sucks. But so be it. You risk the downside for that one thing. You're losing 2 power in that exchange if that happens. Kate Bishop is here as a little bit of extra backup card generation. I'm not sure, 1,000% sure Kate is right. I'm pretty sure that Kitty, Sinister, Strange, Sam, Mysterio, Brood, Hope, Galactic, Gwenpool, Mockingbird, Sasquatch are right. So I'm pretty sure like basically everything but Kate is really solid here. I think Kate being really good for Mockingbird and giving you extra ones in order to try and play cards for Sasquatch is important. I could be wrong about that though. It could be too much. I don't think it's amazing with Strange Supreme, but it's not bad to just have a 1 drop that's going to give you +3 power, right? Like that's a perfectly acceptable rate if you have Strange Supreme, and if not, you just have the arrows, which are solid. Sam is a 2/8. 2/8s are good. It makes Mockingbird cost 5. It immediately makes Strange a 2/5. Either of those are fine. Mysterio is meant to be ideally your turn 5 play so that you can go Sasquatch and Mockingbird on the last turn. Yes, Strange will eat one, but you should hopefully have some arrows, some Sinister, some other nonsense by then to really make this all sing together. Obviously, again, Mysterio is amazing with Gwenpool. We've discussed Brood. Brood is -2 on Mockingbird, which is pretty nice, whereas Mysterio is -3. You are going to want to be careful playing Brood and Mysterio unless it's like the very end of the game, unless you have Strange Supreme to eat, and several turns to do so. Hope is one of the key cards. Extra energy is huge because you want to go Mockingbird Sasquatch at the end of the game. Mockingbird Sasquatch plus potentially, and that seems really powerful. The other thing you can do with this is you can go Hope into Galacta. You can go, sorry, Hope into Galacta on Hope, and then you can play a bunch of other stuff, or Gwenpool on Hope, and then you can play a bunch of other stuff on the last turn, which is going to set up extremely powerful plays. Collecting Gwenpool we covered, and then Mockingbird gets cheaper from half the damn deck. Sinister, Brood, Mysterio, Sam, Kate. So all that makes Mockingbird cheaper, while Sasquatch gets cheaper if you play Mysterio fundamentally. All right, so turn 1 we want Kitty, turn 2 Strange over Sam, generally speaking, depending on what's in hand. Turn 3 Hope is better than a 2-drop. You can now play Kate, you can do other things. You can play stuff for Strange to eat 2. Turn 4 Galacta if you have Brute Jaw stuff, and Gwenpool if Mysterio stuff. I think if you have those combos, either one are going to be a snap. Brood and Sinister Plus or Mysterio Plus are the play on turn 5, and then Brood or Sinister, the other of the two, and Sasquatch and or Mockingbird is the last play you've got. Enjoy yourself. You're going to have a little trouble predicting your power, but so will opponents, and you should be able to have a lot of success due to that. I think that this is going to be the home to play this list in. Give it some love, give it some play. This is already one of the stronger lists. It just got basically an extra 10 to 12 power card in it, at least 10 to 12 power card in it with this change, with this addition of Strange Supreme, which is again why I think this is going to be where we want to be for this deck list. Hey, again, come check out tonight, twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. Our season pass question, if you'd like to enter to win the season pass, is what are your expectations for Strange Supreme / what are your plans for spotlights this week? Next up, we have one of the best lists in the game. Scream Connoisseur is about rank 7 right now. He peaked at, I want to say, rank 4 with this list. Scream Connoisseur basically smashed together the Ajax and the Scream list and came with this beauty. That, like, we've seen versions of this that read just Ajax. Scream Connoisseur went far further in, going as far as Anti-Venom and Luke Cage, along with Hazmat, to really pull this room together. Um, Scream Connoisseur was top 10 last season. He plays a lot of Scream decks. This deck needs both Scream and Ajax. Anti-Venom can be Staggeron here. Sam can be Craven. Rock and Groot can be Juggernaut, but then you're going to change Nebula for either Hydra Bob or Kingpin. Kingpin's way better than people think, by the way. I played against a Kingpin earlier, and he was just a pain in the ass. He's a decent card. All right, so Nebula's here largely because, well, a few reasons. Nebula is really, really good with Rocket and Groot. If you put Rocket and Groot on top of Nebula, the opponent has a choice to give you 2 energy or give you 2 energy, which is very, very good. Nebula's other power here is you can just throw it in a lane, and your opponent's going to want to play there, which lets you do a little clog stuff with Spider-Man and Polaris. Sometimes you get that lane clogged, and then you get the free win with Cannonball later. Hazmat is a later turn play in order to pump your Ajax. You're basically going to try and get Ajax out and play Hazmat for a ton of power where possible. From there, we go Scream. Sorry, we can also often just avoid playing Hazmat in this list and just do enough with Scream and Rocket and Groot to get the Ajax to a big enough size to win. From there, we have Scream. Scream is the best card in Marvel Snap as far as just like card you build a deck around. Sam Wilson might be the best card because it goes in every deck. It's Sam because it goes in every deck and is great, or Scream because it creates a deck and that deck feels damn OP. So Scream is +4 power every trigger, which means she can get up to like a 418, which is absurd. She's huge and the best scaler in the game. Sam Wilson, I wouldn't be shocked if Scream was nerfed this Thursday. I wouldn't be shocked if Sam was nerfed this Thursday. I wouldn't even be shocked if Ajax was nerfed this Thursday. Sam Wilson is amazing. You have 2 uses from him. One is that a 2/8 is fantastic. The other is that he's on demand, make miles cheaper. Having an extra 1/6 in the list is incredible for the last turn of the game, in particular. Excuse me. Spider-Man is a nice Scream trigger, also triggers miles. Very simple. Luke, there's a ton of Scream, at least at the top meta. There's a lot of Ajax and Affliction stuff, at least in the top meta. You get free wins and free hubes from them because you run Luke Cage and they don't. Rock and Groot is really good. We talked about how it works with Nebula. It can also move for Spider-Man, and its negative powers buff Ajax. Polaris is a nice Scream trigger that can also help you clog. Miles, we've talked about. Anti-Venom gives you a free card, fundamentally. Free cards are good. There's not a lot of Mobius in the meta, so the free cards are often going to win you the game. Feel free to remember to try and play Luke if you're going to play Anti-Venom, so that card can have its power back. But honestly, so many cards here are good for their effects that it's not the worst thing in the world to hit almost anything with it. You don't really want to hit Nebula on turn 5, right? But outside of that, you're pretty good. Ajax gets huge between Hazmat and Scream and Rocket, and then Cannonball wins lanes if you can get a clock. Rank 6, turn 1 Nebula, turn 2 Scream over Sam, and Scream is a snap condition. Oh no, I didn't change the end of this. Scream is a snap condition. Turn 3, Polaris if Screen, Luke if Anti-Venom, Rocket and Groot. If neither, Sam is fine. Turn 4, 2+2, and this is where you're going to want a Spidey, or you can just drop Anti-Venom. The next turn, I wrote Lady Death Strike, I meant Ajax, or 3, so it's okay. Turn 5 is you're going to go Ajax or you're going to go 3+2. That 2 will be Hazmat at that point, generally speaking. It could be Spider-Man if you've got a really good Scream going, but generally speaking, you're going to go like Hazmat and Polaris or Hazmat and Brock and Groot, something like that, or just drop Ajax. Then your last turn is going to be Cannonball and Miles or Ajax and Miles. This is one of the best lists in Marvel Snap, period. You should play it. I don't know how else to put that. You should definitely play this list if you have access to it. I can't suggest you buy Scream. I can't suggest you buy anything. If you're considering buying a card, please wait until Thursday's OTA before you do so. But if this deck doesn't get nerfed into the ground, I think, in my opinion, unless people are countering this in your pocket of the meta, this is the best deck right now in Marvel Snap. Hey, please check out the stream team, some of our wonderful friends streaming these decks. Check out Prashan, who will hopefully be streaming at around 12 noon Eastern. And congrats to Gregor for an amazingly successful Twitch front page. Absolutely killed it, my friend. Unsurprised because you're a star. We'll finish with the current rank 3 deck, Chamo's Wiki Hand. This one was good and not great, and then it's just been getting better and better as the week gone on, as Chamo's been around rank 3 and 4 with this. Like, I'm impressed with this list because I didn't think this would be good. Not that I didn't think it would be good. I thought it would struggle because like it just has to put out points, right? It's not winning through any tech, anything cute. It's winning because you can't predict what it does and then it scales stuff up, which is really, really cool. You can find Chamo at twitch.tv/Chamo92. This deck needs Victoria Hand, Kate Bishop, and Frigga. Wiccan and Kahori can be Misery, Galact, and Luna. Iron Patriot can be Sam or Armor, and Nico can be Hood if Misery, if you have Misery, and if not, Iceman. All right, Maria Hill helps you get to your Wiccan curve. So you have 3 specific cards that are here for your Wiccan curve. I mean, like anything low curve is to help you get Wiccan, and you should almost always get Wiccan here. But Maria Hill gives you a 2 if you don't have a 2. Snowguard gives you a 3 if you don't have a 3. And Hawkeye says if I have an extra 2, I can go 2+1 on turn 3 in order to get to my Wiccan. All of those are incredibly strong. Feel free to do them. Nico is here because she copies and she draws, right? Like turning things into a demon is fine. You don't really care about snow guards and Maria Hills and Mirages once they're done. But if you can use them to draw, we're really, really getting way ahead. Quinjet says Snow Guard, Maria Hills card, Mirage's card often, um, Iron Patriots card, Agent Coulson's cards, Frigga. That's Frigga's card. That's 6 cards that Quinjet makes cheaper. It is incredibly powerful in this list. Snowguard is useful both because I've been seeing a lot of magic all of a sudden, turns that off, while also just being a nice way to get that Victoria Hand benefit. Mirage basically gives you a card that already has a Victoria Hand benefit, so you can get more of that. Hawkeye is great and gives you 2 cheap cards that are buffed by Victoria Hand, or at least one, because sometimes it's Acid, but Acid's great. Iron Patriot's card generation, Agent Coulson's card generation, force your opponent to predict things and make them lose. Victoria Hand is your big buff. We would like to copy that with Frigga, although that's not always going to obviously happen. Kahori is amazing. If you don't see Wiccan on turn 4, you're very often going to Kahori, and she's just going to be a 4/12, which is great. And then Wiccan lets you sort of do whatever you want. The only real problem this deck has is board space, sort of everything else it can rock with. And actually, now that I think of that, perhaps because this deck has some board space issues, one of the replacements could be Strange Supreme. All right, so rank 3 now, not rank 4 any longer. Maria if you need a 2, Snowguard if a 3, Quinjet otherwise. Turn 2 is Kate if you need the 1, Victoria if Frigga, Iron Patriot is better than Mirage. Turn 3, Frigga on Victoria is better than a 2+1, or Coulson if you didn't generate any cards yet. Turn 4, Wiccan, who's a snap condition over Kahori, which is more or less equal to a 2+2 because this is your last chance to get Iron Patriot and its benefit. Turn 5, you want to generate cards or play Kate or Frigga. Turn 6, generate cards plus Kahori is your general goal. Your Nico is trying to copy Victoria Hand or the Iron Patriot card. Your Nico Destroy is and or turn into a demon is anything 2 or less but Victoria or Quinjet. Super high rank list, very hard to play, but if you play this well, snap and retreat wisely, you will win a lot of Marvel Snap games. You will rank up. Enjoy it, live it, love it. Question of the day, nice and simple. Retreat 27 says, so I understand snap packs work, but how do you acquire tokens and can you purchase a card a week like the keys? Also, keys don't let you purchase a card a week, right? Unless you spend money. You a new card under the Spotlight system generally costs between 2.5 and 2.8 keys. So two exactly 2 keys will be any Series 5 card you want from here on out. How do you get tokens to be able to buy these? You get tokens to be able to buy these from playing the game like you would before. Your Spotlight keys will all transform into 3,000 tokens. You will also get 3,000 tokens anywhere on the collector's track that you would have previously gotten a Spotlight key. So you're just getting tokens instead. You will also just have shops to buy cards. So you're not going to have to in the way that like spotlight weeks were the only way to really like get cards and they chose what cards you can get. Instead of that, you will be able to just like when a card shows up in your shop that you want, lock it, wait for it, buy it, and you'll be fine. New card will be there all week, and then if you want to get it after the week, you just wait for it to show up again, and once it shows up in the shop, you buy it and you're all good to go. This is a huge agency increase, and it's better, I believe, for most players who are at least season pass buyers, who are like at least like a quarter to midway through Series 3. Plus, they're giving us a nice free reward to get us started in the mode, so that's pretty cool too. Certain tiers of support on our Patreon come with on air thanks. If you're interested in checking it out, check out patreon.com/snapjudgments, please. Thank you to Fat Nick, our patron of the month, Abigail Keeson, Mandatory Burna, Irregardless, LAB, Inc., I Am Frostman, Hota Navarrete, Thinking Poker, Primed Ryan, Ryan Burke, and Ryan Wood, Kier Tixley, Koire, Kazuchi, Archangel 3K, Black Dahlia, Perofros, The Goat Seeker, Code, Hollowed, Only Fox, uh, Fox, you have like every bundle. I got you coming with the next one that I can sneak in before you. Synth, Absolute Shannon, Nightmare, Dirty Casual, Mr. Kerfuffle, Cables, Ginger Prime, Philip Rakovich, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, The Bizza, Black Jeebus 23, Exorcy, and Skippy G, Jessica Gamble, Mr. Slushdeath, The King of Bros, The Great Kazoo, Werewolf, Kepsi Hoda, Lunacris, Glam, Colonel Forbin, Bricks to Click, Rob Silverman, M. Holland, David G. Wingfield, Stephen, Brian Kaufman, Tristan Martin, Jason B., Mr. Craig Sterry, Special Guest Matt V., Real Name Town is Humongous, Renwrench Corwin, John Q, and Jimmy McHugh, Yist Out, 8th Sage, One Big Man, Milkman for Reals, Cactus Jack, Reapser, BG, Quid Pro Joe, Snap Decisions Joe, Dig Carlo. What's up to Carlo? Check him out on Twitch, please. Snap Decisions Joe, Snap Decisions Podcast, please. Models Mod Supreme, please. Just models. Thank you for all the help. Boom, bop, baby boom. Green Goblin, best Osborne there is. Unit Unibot, Flan, 56, Lee, Fuzzy Lot, Spectrum Mix, Hoot, Acu, it's Ocularis, Matt H, the only one we need. DJ Mike Hedgings, no frickin' flex. Nick Duck, Greek Geek, check him out on Twitch. Toxic Soul King, Twitch. Zodrex, Twitch. King of Canada, Twitch, YouTube. Denman Falcon, YouTube. Fosler Newman, Twitch, YouTube. Jonesy, Triple Threat, YouTube. He's back. Two Ties, the great Lauren Redez, Snap on this podcast. The Perry King Tucker, Twitch and YouTube. And of course, Gunny T, where the T stands for I wish he was on Twitch, but he's really not. We'll see you soon. Thank you very much for watching. Appreciate you and see you on stream tonight or video tomorrow. Peace.